morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday. It is about 7:30 in the morning, and we are gonna go down for breakfast here. If anybody opens the door. Okay, go in, eh? You guys ready? Yeah, what y'all?
Eating.
Alright. You guys ready to go eat breakfast? Hello, no. Morning. Alrighty. This is breakfast. Let's see what they got here. Looks like fruits and yogurts over there. Here's the rest of the groups. Mignon, mignon. Okay, that's all we have.
Mina.
There's everyone else already eating.
Yeah, I am.
Hello. You ate all your mama? What'd you eat? Sausage.
So, you go.
Here's the rest of the group. Come over there. There's Harold. Let's see what he's doing. Alright, we are finally starting our day. It is 8:45. We are walking to Ford's Theater to see if we can get some same day tickets. These are our group right now. Everyone that came with us first. It's gonna be a 20-minute walk all day, y'all, and we are there. Here is Michael carrying her daughter like a sack of egg. Got a long way to go. 15 more minutes. We are here at Ford's Theater. Yeah, look at the line here for, I believe, whatchamacallit, same day tickets. I hope we get some tickets, because I don't know. Okay, we made it into the Ford's Theater. We're here for the historic site visit. 9:30 here. Let's hope that Michael was able to save us seats. Oh, good. Yay, our group are here. Yay, we're all together. Jonker, jonker. 都走了. Everybody. No?
Hello, my name is Roger Powell. Welcome to Ford's Theater National Historic Site. First, I would like to mention what is authentic here. This is the site of President Lincoln's assassination. President Lincoln was seated in the box where we have draped the flags. He was seated there when he was assassinated. President Lincoln was killed the night of April 14th, 1865. Everything inside of Ford's Theater had to be completely rebuilt. So it is just the shell of this building, which is original. Immediately following the crime, the federal government seized Ford's Theater. They took the building very much against the owner's wishes. The owner of the building was named John T. Ford. President Lincoln's Secretary of War, Edwin Stanton, held immense power following Lincoln's death. For several months, he was running the entire country. And it was Mr. Stanton in particular that insisted that the interior of this building be immediately removed. So I mentioned that the crime occurred in April of 1865. If you had peered in the front doors of this building by the end of August, pretty much as soon as the trial ended, you would have been peering into a completely empty cavern of a building, all the way into the dirt floor of the basement. Every little bit of architectural detail had been removed. Very soon thereafter, Ford's Theater was given over to the military. It was converted into an office building. The replica was completed in 1968, over 100 years after the crime. There was a gentleman sitting in front of the box. His name was Charles Forbes. Mr. Forbes was a White House messenger. He was not part of any security force that guarded the president. John Wilkes Booth simply handed Mr. Forbes a calling card, and that was the proper custom in the days before cell phones, telephones. Mr. Forbes motioned that John Wilkes Booth could enter. There was no dedicated security force provided for the president. They would just grab whatever law enforcement person happened to be close at hand, and that person saw themselves as a police escort, not a dedicated security guard. It actually took the assassination of two more presidents following Lincoln's death. It took the assassination of James A. Garfield and then William McKinley before Secret Service obtained its present duties in 1901 for Teddy Roosevelt. For those audience members that are seated in a location where they can see that first closed yellow door, that is the only way in, but it does not lead straight into the box. There's a little hallway there. If you compare President Lincoln's box to the box that is located over here, you will notice this other box is divided with a partition. It is set up to be rented as two separate boxes. That partition was taken down over here. It was taken down for the benefit of the president. They wanted to give his party access to the whole area. They built a hallway to give each box a private entrance if the divider were being used. Mr. Booth was able to draw his weapons and prepare the crime in that hallway without really much fear of being observed. The locks on that first door were broken. Somebody here had left a pine stick leaning against the wall behind that first door. The stick was taken from a broken music stand. It had been cut to size so that one end came to a point. And also, whoever had left the stick there had carved a hole into the wall behind the door. Mr. Booth picked up the stick, he put one end into the hole, and then he wedged the other against the door. Nobody else could get inside. Then Mr. Booth pulled out a single-shot pistol. With his other hand, he made certain to have a dagger at the ready. On one of the two interior doors, a peephole had been carved. John Wilkes Booth was able to spy on where the president was seated within the box. John Wilkes Booth waited until a very funny line was performed on stage. The line was performed during Act 3, Scene 2. It was the last big moment of laughter before the play concluded. And when the crowds began yelling back at the stage and laughing, John Wilkes Booth used that crowd noise to muffle the sounds of the gunshot. He entered a door near the president. He fired the gun at point-blank range. President Lincoln was shot 2 inches behind the left ear in the hair. The bullet lodged itself behind the bone of Abraham Lincoln's right eye socket. President Lincoln never spoke after being wounded. He slumped forward. John Wilkes Booth dropped the gun. Major Rathbone, upon seeing the commotion, he jumped up from the couch. The couch was kind of behind everybody. He attempted to grab Mr. Booth. Major Rathbone was stabbed at the length of his upper left arm. That stab wound severed an artery, so Major Rathbone was also very seriously wounded that evening. There was a single actor standing on the stage when Mr. Booth landed. His name was, I mentioned him earlier, it was Harry Hawk. I mean, he backed away confused. Upon correcting himself, John Wilkes Booth walked very deliberately center stage. He was still wielding the dagger, which he raised over his shoulder, and then he yelled out. John Wilkes Booth almost assuredly yelled a Latin phrase from the stage. The words that John Wilkes Booth yelled were, "Sic semper tyrannis." Those words refer to an even more famous assassination. As an audience, is there someone willing to yell out what is a more famous assassination than President Lincoln's? All right, thank you. Upon using the Julius Caesar was the user. Upon using those words, Mr. Booth fled to your back, left of the back wall. Only about a minute of time had elapsed between Mr. Booth pulling the trigger and his exit from the building. So Mr. Booth had turned his back to the audience. He was running away when screams came from the bombs. Mr. Booth did slightly injure two other people to escape, but he was able to get up onto his horse, and at least in the short term, he got away. At some point that evening, John Wilkes Booth had broken the small bone in his left leg. But after crossing the Navy Yard Bridge over the Anacostia River and eventually into Maryland, he met up with a fellow conspirator. That gentleman was also on horseback. His name was David Harold. It was Mr. Harold who knew the path of escape they needed to follow if they wanted to get away.
Alright, finally going to the house that Abraham Lincoln died. Oh, I can't even say it. Alright, going to the house that Abraham Lincoln died. What's all? Luna, can you follow us? Oh, she listen, Leon.
Soldiers carried the unconscious president across the street into this house, where he died the next morning. Meet the residents who witnessed the historic tragedy.
I got it.
Here's all the people you guys need to look at. Peterson, Stafford, Clark. What the hell? Yeah, it's like right behind the ear. Nó nó xéo lút chạm nó.
Is it in the bedroom?
Yeah, I don't know. Gotta go look at the thingy.
This is where everybody gathered.
Ai mà tôi sai nữa tên là xéo mà. Vậy biết tôi nọ chưa? Is that what it says? This is the bed? Not there yet. He died here? This is the bed that he died in? Dang, Harold. Yeah, we record that. But yeah, Abraham Lincoln died here. President Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, nó là mảng nó bự nó chặt xỉa nó nó chỉ lúc nữa lúc nó là nó tới lúc nó xỉa hậu lúc không nó thổi sa mông nên có ó lâu lên tôi bán thiết của chưa Alright, is that it?
Swimming.
We took an elevator to the aftermath exhibit as to what happened the day after Abraham Lincoln passed away. Hi.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. So this is what it looked like back then. President dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mommy.
Yeah.
Look here.
What is that?
A chest.
Treasure chest.
Treasure chest.
Yes. Oh, cái sách thôi the day after rồi, the day after lấy day lấy sắp bỏ you thì tụi nên em mua biết tụi bắt chán tụi nào tụi nào chứ nào là ít bỏ tiền là những cái tiền tụi nên em mua biết tụi bắt chán tụi the soldiers did, the army or whatever they did. Là lấy kia họ lúc chỉ nó làm mà see they hid into this barn. See, 25 soldiers came and looked for him. So it was Buff, and then to help his partner was Harold. Yeah. Chật lại mà, lỡ kinh gõ lúc chế nữa là lúc này bỏ lúc này farm mà. So this is the escape route that he took with the partner. all the way down. Went to some river, and then the on horse. And then April 24th, and then on April 26th is when the troops came and surrounded the barn. Right there.
Wow, he refuses to give.
Look at this tower, book tower. These are real books. Okay, placing out the outdooring coins into the book tower. Oh, okay. Yeah, these are real books. Look, Naya has so many books. Yeah, I said don't touch the books. I guess these are all books. Yeah, no touching, okay? Lincoln's Legacy.
Mommy didn't touch them.
Yeah. Well, it was nice coming here and learning about our history and about Lincoln.
This is the other pocket.
And then one of the sons of a constitutional Lord Shafer found this Lincoln quotation.
잘난 슈가 생간이가 생간 뭐니 그요 진이 뭐시 유사 뭐서는 support and here is Abraham Lincoln. Oh yo. Chính là vô cái mỏ tông cái mỏ. Nè, chú ý này nóng cái mỏ đúng là nè. Chỉ giờ tôi dùng một cái tôi dùng bóp từ này dùng từ nặng chứ. Tiếp nó anh chị. Ai cơ. So look at this cherry blossom magnet. Chúng có hình à? Not bad. Có đúng không? It's pretty. And what else do they have? Pens, cherry blossom. They have a tote bag. Giống có hình cứ. This is what I got from that little machine over there. Souvenir medallions. It's all different?
Yeah.
How?
Lincoln, four-seater,
Lincoln.
and United States Capitol.
What is this?
Candy 4 for 15.
No, they're not candy. They're gum.
Did you really say candy, Ella?
No, I said that.
They're medallions.
I didn't say that.
Remember from the book? Remember you read the
I'm a
book,
collector.
Magic Tree House, and they said medallion? These are
You
medallions.
thought it was candy?
I'm gonna collect you.
Ooh. Good for you, nah. Đừng nói huli chả lắm mà món nào. Ừ. No, có hai chữ niên pan nó hò. Huli chả lắm. Ừ. Hả? Bắt gì đó? Ừ, cho bắt gì đó? Cherry blossom. Looks pretty soft. Oh, the mirror? A mirror? Chứ một mirror? Just use your camera. Solo. Mà sẽ tiếp picture nào hả?
Stop my ticket. Stop my ticket. Beep, beep, beep. And